What up? Jeff here with all my Bitcoin renegades. And today we are going to be discussing the darker side of letting institutional money into Bitcoin. Now, I don't think this is going to be a long term problem. I think this is a very short term problem. And what I'm talking about are futures ETFs. Now, it's going to get a lot in deeper than that and what I'm talking about. I have some specific dates, as you see, if you looked at the thumbnail. It's kind of bizarre how Bitcoin is about $14,000 higher right now than it was when altcoins were a lot lower. I'll get into it and I'll show you what I mean. It's hard to explain, so I'm gonna have to go in and show you exactly what I mean. And so I just want to take a second before we get started today, though, to just appreciate every single one of you that follows my channel, that supports me with your comments, your likes, all of that. Like, us as creators, those things mean a lot to us. And sometimes, when we get busy, we can forget to let you know we really appreciate you for that. So thank you for all you do for us. And it makes me want to do more for you guys as well. So thank you for that. Smash up them like buttons. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And go to bitcoinrenegade.net. I forgot how to leave comments over there. I'm going to figure out how, or if it's only me that can leave comments since I'm the administrator. Because if you leave comments over there and you interact with the website, it will put it up in the Google search for me. So if you want to go over there, at least watch videos. I don't know if you can comment yet or if it's just me, like I said. So, but I just want to say I was wrong, man. I thought the bottom was in. If it didn't go below 42, the Bitcoin hammer came though, and it smashed altcoins down again. And it does it every time that this happens. So I thought we were done with that. I thought we were out of the Bitcoin hammer, but we're still there. So let's go and look at what this Bitcoin hammer is, exactly how long it has been affecting us, and that will give us an idea of what caused it. And I think I've narrowed it down to what caused the Bitcoin hammer. And I'm serious. I really think I know what caused the Bitcoin hammer. And this is kind of trippy, man. This isn't 100%. And I'm not like a big conspiracy theorist. I do like watching kind of cool videos sometimes, but like other things, but nothing too weird. Just the SCP Foundation stuff, kind of weird stuff like that. Some of them I don't like, but anyway, let's go. I want to show you something real quick right here with the price of Bitcoin. Now, first, let's establish what this Bitcoin hammer is. And actually, before we go to the chart over here, I can show you on the chart, and I will. But what I want to do is I want to actually show you on my phone because it will just show you better. I could do it on, actually, we'll get my phone ready too, just in case it doesn't work out. But I'm going to try to show it to you on here. You can see the Bitcoin hammer came today. Same thing I've been talking about all week, all month. The same thing happens every time. And this didn't used to happen. I can pinpoint a date when these Bitcoin hammers started. This isn't how crypto used to go down. So this is the Bitcoin hammer today. Remember? It goes way up and then smashes down. And then what does it do to altcoins? We're right back at 42,000, by the way. So Bitcoin's basically right where it was. All it did is smash altcoins down and go right back to the same price. Now we're going to see why this does this here soon. I'm going to try to find it on the screen here for you, though. Let's get Bitcoin over here. And you will be able to see the altcoin hammer. So normally they aren't this fat. So this lasted 10:39 a.m. all the way to, this was a several hour event that led to a pump. Normally there's a dump here first. So that's the one thing that didn't happen on this one. And they vary. So sometimes there's a dump before a pump before a dump. But as you see, this one didn't really dump before the pump. It did kind of dip right there a little bit, but there was no clear, hey, it was a pump and then a dump, because then you would know, hey, the altcoin hammer's coming. This one kind of came out of nowhere, boom. And there is a reason for these things. So Now we're back down to like the 42,000. So look at this, 42,500 before the Bitcoin hammer. And where are we at now? 42.3? So we were at 42.5 over here. The Bitcoin hammer came out, smashed the altcoins down, and you're telling me that we're back at 42.3 again? Is that what you're saying? Okay, that's just craziness. What was the point of it then? Okay, so now that we kind of see what the Bitcoin hammer is on there, can we go to a larger? I think we can. You're going to see some several. Yep, you're going to see Bitcoin hammers all over the place now. Okay, so you can see the clear Bitcoin hammers and when they started. These weren't Bitcoin hammers over here. They were a little bit like this, but this didn't see how they kind of had shoulders, and they were a little bit different back. It changed. The way that the market moves has changed now. I've noticed a difference, and when it dumps, it likes to mess with us. So I can pinpoint the day. Now, this is the cool part. We'll pinpoint the day after I show you the extent of the Bitcoin hammers. This was the first double top, right? And you could say that this was just the first resistance. It acted as a Bitcoin hammer, though, I'm telling you. The pump, the dump, the pump. This was actually the biggest Bitcoin hammer because of the way that this happened when it pumped and then dumped and then pumped. And that's like a double Bitcoin hammer. So it double Bitcoin hammered us right there. And then this one all the pumps all the way down. And then we have another Bitcoin hammer come in. Just no rhyme or reason, just a pump and a dump right back to the same price. And then a mini Bitcoin hammer. Boom. And then now we have this Bitcoin hammer right here. So it didn't act like that before. Well, let's narrow it down. When did this start? Well, if you go back here and you look at this date, this isn't when it started. We'll get to that. I'll show you when it started soon. But this date right here is significant. It's July 20th, 2021. Why is that day significant? Well, if you looked at the thumbnail, that is because this is the day that Bitcoin went down to $28,800. Why is that important? Well, Bitcoin's at 42,000. That'll be important. Well, let's just look at in 2020, July 20th, 2022. This is 28.8. Okay. Well, let's go look at Internet Computer at that price at that time. $27. Wait. Bitcoin was at $28,800. But the altcoins were way higher. Internet Computer's at 28 bucks up here. Where are we at now? $10 less. And we're $14,000 higher. Bitcoin is now at 42,000. But Internet Computer is now at $17. The only thing that explains that is the Bitcoin hammer. They have been hammering down altcoins. And why? I think they're scared of cryptocurrency. I think it is the elites, or I think it's institutional money manipulating the money with shorts. I think that's what it's all ended up being. So let me show. I think there's more to it than that. I can pinpoint it to one thing instead of being like, oh, those people out there did it. I can actually kind of give you, a little bit of a taste actually who did this and why. Now let's go. I had to do a little bit of research. Where is this thing? Where did it go? Give me 1 second here. Okay, hold on, guys. What was I trying? Yeah, where did it go? What the had it here? Okay, now I'm starting to. Oh, it is right here. Okay, sorry about that. I'm like, where did this thing go? Okay, this is pretty important right here. I thought I lost it. I'm like, where did this thing go? All right, glad we found that. So if you look right here, this is the whole reason. Now we're gonna find a significant date, and that date actually, if we want to go look, is right here. October 19th. This is it was October 19th, I believe, or 20th, but we'll say 19th. October 19th was when they introduced the Bitcoin ETF, right? Now, actually, that's something we have been wanting as a community, a Bitcoin ETF. That means that a lot of money that couldn't get in Bitcoin before could get in it. And an ETF is an exchange traded fund. It could be on the stock market or whatever and be tied to the price of the Bitcoin now. Now. Now, this is where we get into the gray water and why I think the SEC did what they did. They're trying to hold the price of Bitcoin down. I think the SEC is trying to hold the price of Bitcoin down. Now, why am I saying this? Because of what they did. They approved Bitcoin futures ETFs. What is the difference between an ETF and a futures ETF, you ask? Well, an ETF, a spot ETF, tracks the price of Bitcoin right now. A futures ETF is a speculative ETF to track the price of crypto in the future. Now, if we go back into November, this is why this is important. If we go back into November, you can see that they would have a lot of interest in dropping the price from 69,000 at its top, right? So in November, we made it to 69,000. Well, remember October 19th was the coin futures ETF. Well, when it pumped up here to the 69,000, everybody was speculating that over here it's going to be down at, 20,000 or 30,000 or whatever it is. And so when the time comes over here, we are now actually paying for what these guys did back here. You see what I'm saying? So we end up getting dumped on over here because these guys speculated a long time ago, oh, the market's going to go down to this price then, and it kind of has to go. And they're probably really invested in putting shorts in on altcoins as well. I will see how that ties into altcoins here in a little while. This is just getting and manipulating the price of Bitcoin, which actually, in turn, the reason they're doing this is to manipulate the price of altcoins down because you can gain a 1 or 2x on Bitcoin, but you can anywhere from 10 to 100x on altcoins. So if you beat the altcoins into the ground over and 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 over again, then you get them at such a low price that you can buy in and you can get those 5, 10, 100x gains. And they're using Bitcoin to do it. And they're using the Bitcoin futures ETF market back in November when the price is really high. They're basically flipping a coin. And if you're at 69,000, you're basically at 75 to 80% odds that it's going to go down below that price. It's the highest it's ever been. 69,000 can't be sustainable for long. So you're almost guaranteed that you're going to be back down to at least $40,000. And why do you think it goes so far down so fast? It happened until after this point. So what is this? This is the CME Bitcoin futures total open interest. So this was before the big pump in the market, the interest. The more interest that comes in here, the more the market is affected now by these futures, these Bitcoin futures, and they're really manipulating the market. Every time they go down, it pushes the market down. They just start manipulating. There's just so much going on, and it creates what we see today and what I am calling the Bitcoin hammer. And I know the domination used to go up and down with coin, but I think they found the fact. This is the one thing if you're a really smart investor and you're rich, they found the fact if you can manipulate Bitcoin to look like this, because it does it every single time, that smashes altcoins down. If you can get it to do that, then you can get the price of altcoins to go down even further. And so they do it over and over and over again. And that's because of the Bitcoin futures ETF. This never happened until that. So this pattern is a direct, what do you call it? A direct instance, not an instant, a direct reason of the Bitcoin futures. They caused this. They caused that Bitcoin hammer to happen. I'm telling you, that's what is happening right now, and I think it's pretty despicable. And we need to get the Bitcoin futures ETFs out of there. And It's wrecking the altcoins, and that's why they're doing it. Now let's go look again. The price of Bitcoin here. Let me switch my screen out. The price of Bitcoin here on the lowest, like I said, 28.8, right? Now let's go look at the graph at its lowest on that day, which was 49 cents. If you look right here, well, this graph says 47 actually, low 47, but on Coinbase it was 49. That was the lowest it went on Coinbase, 49 cents. And so now this Bitcoin was at 28,000 right here, right? And this is at 49 cents. Now Bitcoin is at 42,000. That is $14,000 higher. 14,000. That is like a third of the price higher. So why is this 10 cents lower, which is like 20% of the price lower than at Bitcoin's lowest? So we should be, okay, if Bitcoin is $14,000 higher, this was at 28, that's a third. So we should be a third of the price higher than this, which a third of 40, let's say a third of 50, a third, 15, yeah, like 16. So it should have rose 16 cents from 49. So 59. It should have been at 60. We should be at 65 cents right now if we were to stay in line with what Bitcoin did. But they used the Bitcoin hammer over and over after this. It didn't get introduced. Let's look at October. The Bitcoin hammer did not come in effect here. That's why. I can prove when the Bitcoin hammer came into effect and how it affected altcoins. If you guys are like, man, this guy is just not losing it. No, I can prove this, guys. I have the proof right here. So before the Bitcoin hammer didn't happen, right? You know, Bitcoin's at 28,000. We're still not getting really wrecked by Bitcoin, right? It's at 47, yeah, okay, or 49. It didn't totally wreck, right? So we come back and Bitcoin goes back to 69,000, right? Well, here's when the Bitcoin futures started, right here, October 19th. So notice a little bit different after this. We had our little pump with Bitcoin, right? Our little pump with Bitcoin. This is October 19th. This is when the futures contracts came in. We had that, pump with Bitcoin, and then it's been done. Ever since then, the Bitcoin futures contract smashed the altcoins into the ground. Ever since, I'm telling you, we had the one little pump with Bitcoin, and then they're like, okay, come on, let's do this. And then they completely wrecked altcoins. This is not the only altcoin. Let's go on to another one. Let's look at this one. Oh, after this, let's look where October 19th is, right? Just note this, right? We had a little pump right afterwards, and then it's dumped ever since. The Bitcoin futures was the worst thing that ever happened to crypto. I am telling you, it's not just Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin has came out on top in this whole situation. It's been manipulated, but it's harder to manipulate completely. But the altcoins, they get smashed every single time, guys. And so, what are we gonna do about this? Like, I'm not complaining. I'm not like normally I get mad when stuff like this. I could be super mad. I'm over it. Like today, I'm serious over it. Like I'm not putting money into a market like this. I'm done for right now. This market, there is no money to be made in a market like this right now when they're manipulating it, and that's the problem. No short term money right now, so all of it's long term. I'm not going to be making any short term moves because every single time it gets wrecked lately. So I'm going to wait until we get out of this. And a lot of people aren't trading, guys. Now is not the time to start trading. If you're accumulating for the long term, oh yeah, start dollar cost averaging, grab it up. But if you're trying to make a short term trade, just don't do it, man. Just don't. I mean, there's no point when it's going to get smashed down. Anytime they want, they can do this. Just know that. Any altcoin that you hold that's within like the top couple hundred will get smashed by this. Let's go to more crypto if you don't believe me. You think it's just I picked those two just because it was like a happy coincidence? Let's look at XYO. This one actually might not be as good of a reference. I hope it is. I'm just picking a random one right now, but okay. Now let's go kind of look at the same thing. Where was it and where is it now? Okay, so we're looking at, remember, November. What was the first day we looked at? It was July 20th, not November. Okay, July 20th. Let's go back. July 20th, 2021. So July. Oh, this thing. Hold on. October. Yeah, it wasn't here in July 2021. That's USDT. Let's try USD. Maybe that was here. Nope. Okay. Well, we can't do XYO. Never mind. Let's see what else. We could do Solana. Let's just do Solana, a big one. Let's do a. How much does this affect Solana? And I'm just picking one, man. I'm not. There's no bias here, so let's get it out of the USDT. All right, July 20th, right here. This is the low. Let's see where Solana's at. Ooh, it's at $20. Okay, well, it didn't happen with Solana. So Solana had a massive rise after this. So, okay, Solana doesn't count. Let's move on. I know there's more crypto that this happens with. Let's pick. What else do we? Let's try Jasmine. Well, Jasmine. Hold on. Matic. Yeah, I hope I didn't. Okay. Whoa. So that's good to know. Matic went all the way down to 60 cents in July of 2021. So this one didn't get affected either. Matic, so there's some that can withstand it. I guess the graph and internet computer price, they get smashed with the altcoin hammer even worse. So let's go through just a bunch of cryptos and see. Let's try Mana. I'm just gonna go through some, and there's got to be more. I mean, those can't be the only two. We're gonna be looking at Algorand. I know Algorand's another one that did as well, but it didn't do it as bad though. Oh yeah, this one definitely is above where it was. So that's why it doesn't really make sense why. Okay, let's keep looking. Algo. I think this one does either actually, but it still gets smashed by the altcoin hammer. See that? I mean, it just gets dunked on. It doesn't barely go up, but it gets way smashed down. And it doesn't go back to, like, how Bitcoin went back to its own level? Well, these don't do that. That's the thing. So um, let's look here. I don't think Algo is okay. 67. So it's actually right around where it was. I mean, it's a little above right now. So, but Algorand's got smashed by the altcoin hammer too. Because look, it went all the way up to $3, and now it's barely sitting at 75 cents. I mean, it. They have been taking a beating just because not all of them are below this. But I mean, Bitcoin rose by $14,000. Let's just say that. So Bitcoin rose by 14,000. This one was at what, 69 cents, and now it's at 75. So it went up 6 cents. That's it on Algo. I mean, why is Bitcoin going up so much and none of these cryptos are going up with it? Let's try Tezos. Do you guys know of any other cryptos that are doing that? That were way above in July. Let's see this one. Nope. Dang, dude, it looks like I just got the worst cryptos, man. No, I'm just kidding. I love my cryptos. Just they got smashed down. And see, it's not like it's very high above this low. Now, if we go to this low instead of where we're at right now, it isn't hardly any difference. So it just doesn't make sense why Bitcoin gets to go up so much and all altcoins are way, 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 way down. Now, even Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum. Does the altcoin hammer work on Ethereum? Well, Ethereum is way higher than it was at last point. So yeah, it looks like it's only Internet Computer, the graph, and we're gonna find some other ones because those can't be the only two. Now I just need cryptocurrencies, man. Can't think of any more right off the top. Let's see. Oh, let's do Cardano. I think this is going to be a good example. Cardano. Oh, would you look at that? Yep, it's like exactly. See that June 20th? It was a dollar one. A dollar. Yeah. So a dollar, and we're at $1.03 now. See, so a big one. So this isn't just my crypto. Same thing happened with Cardano as well. See that? So I'm not tripping. This is real. There's no reason we should be at the same level as the lowest point. This is when Bitcoin is at $28,000. We are basically at the lowest point with Bitcoin at $42,000. A third of the price higher with Bitcoin, and we are sitting at the same price. What is wrong? That's the altcoin hammer. That's why. Look, every time the altcoin hammer comes, it just drives. And it's always when we're on the way up. It's like they push it to this level that they know that was weird, that they know that you could push and just get yanked right back down. So it's just really hard to deal with a lot of the manipulation that's going on. And it's because of these Bitcoin futures contracts that is directly manipulating the market, which is causing the Bitcoin hammer, which started after November 19th. We didn't have these crazy erratic prices. You can see it was kind of like a circle right up here. We had ups and then we had corrections, but we still kept going up. It wasn't that we just always had this blam, blam. Every single time we go up, we just get wrecked, and it just pushes the prices of altcoins down further and further. Let's see what else besides Cardano. I mean, we have three of them now. Let's keep going. I'm serious. We're going to probably find a ton of them. And so there's a reason. Let's figure out what cryptos are affected the most, and then we'll see, who has interest in those cryptos, and what. Then we can maybe narrow it down to who's doing it. That's pretty far out there, but it's possible. Okay, what other crypto we could do? Let's see. Polkadot. Let's just say Polkadot. Why not? It's number 10 crypto. All right, let's do it. Nope, this one was lower. So it's not all of them. Okay. Let's think about, I don't know, Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash is lower. It is July 20th. It was at 383. Now it's at 320. Why? I mean, Bitcoin's up $14,000. Why is Bitcoin Cash down? Like $80 from there. Why? It doesn't make sense, man. It does not make sense. So here's another one, Bitcoin Cash. And these are big cryptos. So it's not just little cryptos it's affecting. It is wrecking all of these big cryptos. Like they're taking people's money who invest in these cryptos and smashing it in the ground. Why? So they can buy them at cheaper prices. They're institutionally buying them. So they want them at the cheapest price, and they're shorting them too. That's probably another thing. They're shorting the market. So you short the market enough, all the prices are going to go down. That's what happens when you short the market. So, and another one. Let's find another one now. Bitcoin Cash. There's like Terra. I don't know Terra. We could look at Terra. I don't know if this one. I don't really know if this is one or not, but that's why we got to investigate, man. July 20th. No, definitely not. Terra has grown a lot since then. Wait, what? Okay, this was July 20th. It was worth about $6. Now it's worth 90. So that's definitely not one of them. Darn, I should have bought into Terra a while ago. All right. Ranking. Keep going. Dang, Sheep's still number 15, huh? Litecoin. Oh, I almost guarantee Litecoin is. Yeah, and Dash. Oh, I bet that we'll do Dash next. Litecoin and Dash. So they're just smashing altcoins into the ground. These old school alt. It looks like all the old school altcoins. Any older altcoins, they're just smashing them. Yep. Look at this. So we're actually right where we were, like almost exactly, a little above. So this is at 105 ish, and we're at 110 ish. So we're a little bit up. Not really much of anything though. So it's just kind of ridiculous, man. There's another one. I bet Dash as well. This is the Bitcoin hammer, and we're gonna watch out for it from now on. I'm gonna start shorting the market, man, with these Bitcoin hammers for sure. I'm not even playing no more, man. I'm about to short the Bitcoin hammers. You feel? All right, Dash, July 20th. It was at 115.46, and it's at 111 now. So it's down $4. So there's another one. So we have one, two, three. So we have Internet Computer, the Graph, Cardano, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash. These are all massive cryptos, and they are all lower than the price when they, or right around the price when when Bitcoin is at 28,800, and now we're at 42,000, over $14,000 higher, over a third of the price higher, which means this should be a third of the price higher as well, which is about $40 higher. It should be at 150. This should be right around 150. This should be somewhere around 450, 500. This should be somewhere around, oh, I don't know, like $1.50. You know, the graph should be somewhere around 60 cents. Internet Computer should be sitting right around, I don't know, like $24. So that's where we should be sitting right now in all of crypto, and it's got dumped on. Not all of crypto. It looks like the Bitcoin hammer affects all of crypto, but the effect that I'm talking about all the way back from July of 2020 doesn't reach all the way here because the Bitcoin ETF didn't start until October 19th. That's why there's a little discrepancy there because the Bitcoin hammer didn't start till after this. And then when it happened, it's changed the market. Look at the difference in the RSI as well, if you don't believe me. I mean, you can tell these little differences if you really study them and look at them. You can say, hey, that doesn't look normal. That isn't the normal, wick that we have. Look at this one compared to this one. They look kind of the same. They're both pumps, but this is before the futures and this is after the futures. See how that's a lot different looking? It's just a straight pump and dump compared to like a several day long pump and then a couple of day dump. Now they do it all in just one day. And why they do that, it's called the Bitcoin hammer. And the only way to do that is when Bitcoin futures contracts expire, guys. This is the expiration of these Bitcoin futures contracts from back here at the top when everybody wanted it to go down. And look how much money is in this. it was over 6 billion, and look now we're over 3 billion. There's so much money to be made to smash the market on us. Now, whether they're doing it intentionally to smash the altcoins down, yeah, they are. There's no way that's not intentional at all. Or they figured out, hey, it works when we do that. Let's keep doing it. Let's get these altcoins down as far as possible. So I don't know what to do about this, guys. What do you think? What do you think we should do about the Bitcoin hammer? Is there any way that we can come together and say no more Bitcoin hammer, or can we protest the Bitcoin futures ETFs? These companies come in without anybody's permission, and they start just doing these futures ETFs that have just ruined the market. I showed you it ruined the way the market runs. The market is not the same as it was when I got in. I can make money in this market long term only. Before there was money to be made all the time in crypto before. It's like the good old days now. Like the girl, remember them good old days when you could day trade crypto and make a lot of money. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, staking is where it's at. Yeah, especially with internet computer, because staking, you don't really think about them as much. And the cool thing about internet computer is it locks it away once you're staking. So even if you wanted to be like, yeah, I'm not going to stake anymore, let's just do this and take my money out, sell at a loss. Well, guess what? You can't do that. But my long term holds, even if I don't stake, they're going to be awesome and amazing. We're going to make a lot of money. So I hope this scandal doesn't, affect you guys as much. If you're holding these altcoins, we're just going to have to hold through it. This is a bad time. And I might actually be holding my altcoins for the next couple of years now. Unfortunately, not worried about my internet computer, but my graph, I might not be worried about that either. Um, if all of these grants start, building the price and it starts going back up, because I would like to do, you know, um, a video about the graph, like, or I talked to one of the German graph team members earlier, and it was just happenstance that I came across and that I could actually put a DM in his message, and he responded back to me, and he's like, he's told me in German, I think he's like, yeah, I'll get a hold of the foundation and let him know, and so hopefully, I might be able to start doing videos with the graph as well. But tomorrow is our Divinity Grant um, interview, so wish me luck, man. I'm a little bit nervous because I always get nervous before these meetings. So I just hope I'm prepared and have everything for that. And the good thing is, I like the prices to be down when we get the grants, because then you get more ICP. But I'm happy with whatever, that's the one good thing you can look at as the market goes down. You can just accumulate more and more. So that's why I was telling you guys earlier, or yesterday, and I can't remember what video now, but I was telling you guys, just it's not about the price right now necessarily, and you could look at that with whatever crypto you're in if you're okay with being in the long term. And yes, I was hoping to make money. The reason I'm so mad about the graph is because I looked at it as, yes, I could make a long term gain, but I'm going to make short term gains, and then I never did. So anyway, but with it's about accumulation. I think I want to get at least 10,000 graph. So that I'm almost halfway there. So actually, I think I want 100,000 graph, to be honest. That would be the amount that I could probably, be successful, really successful with 100,000. So if I get 100,000 graph, that would be good. Or if I could get 1,000 ICP, it's all about quantity. And so it isn't necessarily about the price when you look at it, for right now. It's about accumulating. How many can you get? And I learned that from stacking Satoshis when I had nothing. So I was gaining pennies at a time. So imagine now that you can, stack hundreds of dollars in crypto at a time. It's way, way better. So yeah, no, they talk about VGX. I'm not into that. Maybe I'll get into it. I want to be. I want to be in, fun stuff, but it's like maybe there's money to be made in VGX. I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. Because right now the graph, it pumped to a nice 50. The crazy thing about what happened with the graph is it was about to break out of all that garbage that it had been dealing with. The thing, see this? We were about to break above and stay above the old level, right? Which was like 49. Well, we went all the way up to 55 cents. We broke out of that level, but now we're way below it again. That's the thing, is we were above it. And then I guess the market, that's why they're doing this, is when they see the crypto start to break out of a certain level, that's when they kind of smash on the market. And I think it's because they're trying to keep the total crypto market cap at bay. That's the reason I think they're doing the altcoin hammer. I don't think it's necessarily to steal our money, which is probably just the side benefit of it, getting people to sell at a loss. But that, I think it is basically to keep the complete market cap at bay. So it doesn't, continue to grow to 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 20 trillion, and then it really be a risk to our financial system on the world. And I think that's what the governments are starting to get worried about. And maybe that's why, they're putting their foot on the necks of some rich people to, hey, get the price of these altcoins down, get the price of the total market cap down. And how can you do it? Well, with Bitcoin Hammer, smash the price of the altcoins down, a couple, billion or half $1 trillion, and we're good to go. And that's what they do. And Bitcoin continue to grow. They'll be like, all the rich people stay in Bitcoin, get all your money out of all the altcoins real quick, and then use the Bitcoin hammer. And then you can buy in your altcoins cheaper, whatever. We drop the complete market cap by half $1 trillion, and it is not as big of a threat anymore. And we'll just keep doing that until we can't anymore. That's what it seems like they're doing. So that's why I like projects, like Internet Computer, that are going to be here for the long haul. And because even this Bitcoin hammer, it's real. I don't. I'm going to. It's going to be called the Bitcoin Renegade Hammer. It will. If this ever gets a name, it would actually be more like the Bitcoin Renegade Futures Hammer, because that's what it is. The futures is the hammer. We figured out the Bitcoin hammer. That's crazy how we saw it. We described it. We gave it a name. It has a purpose. The same thing happens every single time. That's a pattern. That's not a theory. That's a pattern. So I don't know, man. It's real, and I want credit for it because I'm the first one who found it. For real. Like, put me in the Guinness Book of World Records or the dictionary or wherever it goes. The Bitcoin Renegade Hammer, and it's real, and I'll point it out every time it happens. So, and it's not really something you would notice unless you look at the price all the time. I study the price, and I'm sure a lot of my colleagues, whether they like to admit it or not, that I'm saying it, they're probably agreeing with me, or at least looking into it like, hey, there's something there. We don't know what, but you can see the market, the way the market moves has changed. Now, do you see it? I mean, here, let's look. The way the market moved, let's look before the Bitcoin Futures ETF, which is this line right here. Okay, this is the lowest price of Bitcoin since, we pumped over here. And this is the Bitcoin Futures ETF. Look, okay, let's zoom in a little bit. So it's harder to see the farther out you are, but let's zoom in and look at the market before, and then we'll come look at it now. So there was the top. Now look at the way the market kind of runs fluid together. It kind of runs like a river. It has some rocks and maybe some rapids and stuff in there, but for the most part, it runs in order. It runs fluid. It has kind of a grace to it. You see it? You feel me? Like, but now let's say, okay, this was the lowest. We still haven't got to the erratic time yet. So notice, okay, fluid, fluid, fluid. Even the dumps, they're fluid, right? It actually even starts getting a little erratic right here. Oh, it does. That's the futures. Oh, I didn't even look at that for a second. I'm like, wait, it actually starts to get erratic right here. You see how it goes from fluid to right here abruptly, kind of like janky, like up and down. We don't know what, but up, down. Oh, what? And it looks kind of weird, right? Yeah. Do you notice this, or is this just me? It doesn't run fluid anymore. The prices are jerky, janky, and this weirdness. See that? It doesn't run fluid anymore. And it's hard to say, it's hard to find the words for it, but that's how I look at it as a river. But now it's more like a stony path, like a dried out river. It doesn't it doesn't feel like it doesn't move right anymore, and it has these erratic behaviors. You see these just erraticness that never was over there before. These erratic things that are not fluid. They interrupt. It's just like I don't. It's like running into a wall over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like there's dams, dude. This is exactly what happened. I can explain it. We're beavers, and before this was a river, right? And this is after the dam was built, and it changed everything, right? Because dams are meant to suppress water and change things. So the dam was the Bitcoin futures ETF. You see how it changed Bitcoin? And this was mainly to get the price of altcoins down, but also probably just the jankiness of the prices moving from the futures to the Bitcoin and then being executed. That's what I think it is. That's why these are so choppy like that and why they don't really run fluid. Like this should have just kind of ran fluid. Instead it's just like a there's no fluidness into it. It just seems, even the RSI looks wishy washy. So it's hard to explain unless you really look at the charts, and you might be saying, "Hey, I don't see anything here." But if you look at the charts and you're actually seeing what I'm saying, I hope you see it, man, because I don't know what else to make of this. And the market's changing. The Bitcoin futures we saw it right from October 19th, the very day of the futures ETF. The patterns change and they become kind of rocky. There's something to that, man. And without like actually knowing the books of like exchanges or stuff like that, we could never really get to the bottom of it. But these dates that I'm showing you, Bitcoin being up $14,000 more than when it was at its lowest, and then the crypto altcoins being lower now when Bitcoin's $14,000 lower, and now it's $14,000 higher, and the altcoins are lower. How does Bitcoin rise 14,000 altcoins lower? I thought Bitcoin was like Bitcoin dominance. You know why? They found out that altcoins don't go up with Bitcoin as much as they follow it down. That's the key to it right there. So say altcoins go up with Bitcoin 40%, but they go down with it 75%. So when they pump and dump it like that, it doesn't get the full pump. It gets 40% pump. It gets 70% dump. And that's why they do it over and over. And the more you do it, the more it knocks these. And that's the Bitcoin hammer. It's a real thing. And we're going to make it famous, man. I'm serious. That's going to be my goal. We're going to make this Bitcoin hammer a thing. Unless it's already something, we're going to make it a thing. That's our goal as a community. We got to make the Bitcoin Renegade Hammer thing, and we can prove what it is and when it started. And it's directly because of the Bitcoin futures ETF. So that's crazy. We I feel like a detective now that we really uncovered like a real mystery here, because institutional money's big money, and when you can manipulate the Bitcoin market, that's only done by big money. People that don't really care about anybody except that extra zero in their pocketbook, man, and they will do whatever it takes. So we can combat that. How? Hodl. Long term. Don't give in to them right now. Don't do short term trades and get wrecked. That's the way that we can win. You can still buy Bitcoin because it looks like they're not smashing Bitcoin too much. Like I said, Bitcoin's up $14,000 from the low that we had in July, right? But altcoins are below. So how does anyway, Bitcoin's doing okay. You can do good with Bitcoin, and then now it's a good time to just accumulate for the long term internet computer. Get 1,000 of them if you can, or if you're a little bit poorer, try to get 10 of them. And then maybe by that time you get a better job or you get a raise or something happens, you can get 100. And then maybe you make a good trade on somewhere else, and then you can be like, hey, now I can get all 1,000 of them. So that's my goal, is to get 1,000, and I'm just an average guy. So if an average guy like me can try to get like 1,000 of them, anybody can, right? So just accumulate one at a time. Even if you're like 1,000, man, I don't even have one. I can't even afford one yet. Get point 0.5 of one. I didn't start out with I started out with pennies on the dollar, guys. So I understand. Or if you have a little bit of money to use and you don't want to use it because the market's all wacky, well, it's all going to have to be a long-term trade anyway. Because I'm not going to tell my channel to do short-term trades right now. Not that I ever give you financial advice, but I do kind of like try to lay that foundation of a bedrock price. But when Bitcoin is erratic, I can't do that for you the way that my professionality, requires, to give you guys good information to know when the next movement is. That's what we're looking for, is the next movement, right? And so when Bitcoin and altcoins are unpredictable because they do the opposite of whatever you think, or if you think they're going to do the opposite, then it does the opposite of what you think, which is actually what you thought in the first place, but then it made you think that you thought that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, $3. You could do it. You could become a millionaire with $3 in crypto if you're. I mean, you have to be really, really lucky, but you could. You could become a millionaire with $3 if you bought Shiba Inu when it first came onto the market with $3. You would have. I think it would have been like $700,000. $3 would have made you $700,000. So yeah, you can make money with nothing in crypto, but those are hard. Yeah, I mean, if you search your whole life for that, look for the 5x gains. Look for the 2x gains. Those are the ones you can do without, losing your mind and your money. So there will be times, again, I'm going to let when the optimal time to start day trading is. But if you're dollar cost averaging, there's no better time to pick up crypto than now. These dumps, when the Bitcoin hammer comes out, utilize it. Hey, we know when the Bitcoin hammer comes out, we can buy crypto at a discount. So we're going to wait for these Bitcoin hammers. And we're going to set price targets on these Bitcoin hammers, right? And that we use it to our advantage. So we can't control the market, we can react to it. Well, we can preemptively react to it. So we're not actually reacting, we are acting before, because we know what's going to happen, right? The Bitcoin hammer is going to come out. It always does. Every time we rise, since the Bitcoin futures. Haven't you noticed that? Every single time we test that support or that resistance, we fail because of the Bitcoin hammer. That's the reason we fail. It happened at 48,000 the other day. It happened at 43,000 today. And they'll use it every single time that they want to smash the market down. And unfortunately, I'm going to look into the expiration of some of these futures contracts and maybe even give you some more information that directly ties it. Hey, like 20,000 futures contracts said that Bitcoin's going to be at $41,000 today. Well, is that why Bitcoin went from 43 all the way down to 41.7? Because that's where some rich person put his Bitcoin future estimate at. He said back in like November, December, he said, okay, on April 10th today, back in December, he said on April 10th, I think Bitcoin is going to be $41,700. So now we get here to April, say we're at April 9th. This guy's like, okay, we're at 43. I need to get down to 43.1. What can I do? Well, he probably calls his buddy, hey, man, were you the one that did the Bitcoin hammer? I can imagine it like some underground place. We need the Bitcoin hammer, man. Were you the one? Are you the Bitcoin hammer? We need to make a show about this now. It could be like a complete crime series, and the Bitcoin hammer is like the underground boss. Dude, I got quite the imagination. But seriously though, I mean, this is real stuff, and they're using it. We gotta know that, and know it. Like GI Joe said, man, knowing is half the battle, and in crypto, it's actually more than half the battle. If you know that something's coming, it's all of the battle. Like that's why they always say buy the rumor, sell the news, because when the rumor is out there, there's no confirmation of that. So crypto's mainly fear and greed, right? And people either get scared or they're happy. That's why these Bitcoin hammers don't make sense. The reason I know it's the Bitcoin hammer, not like an outside force. I scoured the internet for news. Like, is there a reason? Like, yeah, we have stuff going on in the world. You know that. We can't talk about it on the channel, right? But there's stuff going on out there. But the market's still done good anyway, and we're going up anyway, right? And so there was no like new news that came out today or whenever, or even at the 48,000 part that says, hey, we need to go down right now. You know, the news, there's something happening. We need to push the price down. Inflation hasn't happened yet. What are we still worried about the Fed meeting? That all went away, I thought. We already dealt with that. So what could it be? The Bitcoin futures, man. That's the only thing that it is. And all it is a bunch of shorts. They are shorting the market and saying, yeah, we want the price to go down. And they're also shorting altcoins at the same time. And I think it has to do with them shorting altcoins and them wanting to take the total price of the crypto market cap down to not challenge the US government or other world governments. I think they're trying to keep crypto in place for now until they can regulate it more and get more of the money. Or, you know, they don't want it to destroy our monetary system, even though that might happen inevitably in the next 50 to 100 years, just because that's been the history of money, right? To fail. So the cool thing is we have a backup with Bitcoin. So actually, this is a positive thing. So if our traditional financial system fails, we have Bitcoin as a backup now. So we wouldn't go into, imagine if Bitcoin wasn't here and we went into a global, like not only recession, but it would be a global depression if that happened. If like all of the money tanked, like the financial, like the US dollar tanks, that would affect the whole world. But that's before Bitcoin, right? So if the US dollar somehow, I don't think it will, but if it did fail, what would hold that up? That would be Bitcoin. So if something happens, like and our dollar gets a catastrophic hit, we could implement Bitcoin into our system like that, save our butts. Instead, before Bitcoin, it would have been the end, basically like an apocalypse. If you've seen some of those shows, like What Happens, you know, or like Rick and Morty when you turn the 1 to a 0, and everybody just like, well, what are you doing? Well, I got to get paid. Well, I'm not going to do that unless I get paid. And yeah, if nobody gets paid, nobody works, right? So we don't want that to happen. And now we don't have to worry about it. So we have this US dollar, but we have a backup system that's actually better. And even the richest people in the world are coming on. Do you know a couple of years ago, Mark Cuban, Kevin O'Leary, and a lot of the rich people, we were trying to get, like, I can say we now because I've been in here for a couple of years, but we're trying to get them on board with crypto. This was back in when Bitcoin was still at $9,000, $10,000. And I was telling everybody, I said, if Elon Musk gets in crypto, it's going to $1 million. That's what I said. I said, no, what I said, if he put all of his money in crypto, it would go to $1 million, like instantly. Imagine if Elon Musk said, I'm going to take 90% of Tesla, all my stock, and however he did with the money he has now. What if he said, I'm going to put 90% of it liquid into Bitcoin, 10% US dollar, or like 8% US dollar, 2%, what other stuff he has to have? Well, that would have went to $1 million. That's what I meant. But yeah, that would be cool. So you guys, you don't have to be afraid to talk. King Love doesn't bite. He just has a lot of stuff to say, man. And I'd like to have him on the show because, yes, I guess he does have a lot to say. We're going to do a 12-hour episode here soon, probably in the next week or so. My throat's getting better. It's almost fully healed. I can talk. I can have an episode like this, you know. So I'm just kind of happy despite, you know, Bitcoin having this happen. And this is the biggest scandal in a long time since F2 Pool and Cryptos R Us was showing you the miners dumping crypto. Well, we know now that it's the Bitcoin futures hammer or the Bitcoin renegade futures hammer, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to try to get it named, man, and maybe patent it myself. I don't know. I don't know how you do that, but how would like the Fibonacci retracement, who did that? John Fibonacci, you know, like someone made that. So, oh, love you guys. It will save the U.S. financial system. That's very true. And we can be in the front. Imagine if it did happen. If we were holding Bitcoin and the U.S. dollar broke, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin goes from being like a a $42,000 asset all the way up to like a $400,000 asset in one day. Like, because all the people are scrambling to buy it, all the rich billionaires are trying to get out of the dollar while it's crashing. Oh man, I don't wish that. Hey, I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying, man, if the U.S. dollar starts crashing and all the billionaires, because okay, there's 56.1 millionaires in the world. Well, imagine how many of them own U.S. dollars. So imagine all of those 56.1 million people all trying to get out of the US dollar into Bitcoin at once. Wow. Dude, that would be a trip because a lot of the other money would start falling as well, like peso. A lot of money would fall if Bitcoin or if US dollars fail. Like probably all of like even the Chinese money. I think all of the money would just start to tumble a lot. Others could probably recover, but that would skyrocket the price. And then we could see $1 million Bitcoin each. No, this is not something like that is impossible. That's not just a fantasy. That is an actual possibility 10, hopefully longer than that down the road, but maybe even in the next couple of years. If inflation comes, because we don't know the effects of everything that has gone on over the last few years with all this money printing, with all of the, well, I can't even say that, but all of the stuff going on, and now we're spending money to help people that really need it, funding their fight over there, and so yeah, we just got to be careful, and by careful, I just mean observe, stay diligent, know that the Bitcoin hammer is here, and know why now. It's because the Bitcoin futures, right? So now we need to go in and investigate those Bitcoin futures, and that's what we're going to do now. And we're going to directly try to find, hey, when all of these are expiring, we can expect a dump to come in, or we can expect the Bitcoin hammer to come in. So I'm going to try to get ahead of this, and instead of just being reactionary, we can actually, be preemptive and and act on this instead of just reacting to these rich people's movements, because that it gets old having to just go along with all these other people, right? You want your voice heard too. You want to make money, and the rich people, they just want all of our money at the same time. So there is a Vegas bookie that's known as Tone Man who can push a game time betting lineup this last minute. 100 key people. No one showed. No one knows the other. It sounds like he's into Bitcoin now. Yeah, and the UFC, they are taking some of their bonuses in Bitcoin now. There's a lot of good news. So we're talking about the Bitcoin hammer. That is directly affecting the price and stuff. So that's what we're talking about. The future of crypto, like I'm saying, it's the cure for the US dollar if it fails, right? So Bitcoin is here to stay. It's good. But the people manipulating it, we know why. The Bitcoin futures. So maybe there's a way that we can, get them to separate that from the regular market or something. Or that's why they don't want the spot ETF, because when you have the futures, you can, have people manipulate the market more. And I don't know why the SEC would want them to be able to manipulate the market more. If it was a spot ETF, well, I guess that could be manipulated more, or this it would be the same, because it would be the same, because if you futures project something to go to 30,000, or if it's at 40,000 and you say it goes to 30,000, you want to push it there anyway, it's the same thing. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, why they are doing this futures like that, and not letting us have a spot ETF. You couldn't manipulate it any other way than the futures already can. So I think it's because what I've heard is there's more regulation in the futures market than in the spot market. That's what I heard. There's more. I know it's more regulation, but more. I think there's more laws and like more, kind of black and white instead of gray area. So I think that's why they wanted to try it out here first, because the laws are already there and set up for that. Now in the spot market, I'm not 100% sure if they are up to date with all of the regulatory system framework that they need in order to actually run a spot ETF. Now, if they can come up with a solution to that, then I think a spot ETF is next on the agenda. So hopefully that will get rid of the erraticness, Now, if you didn't see, go back and watch that part where I showed you on October 19th, the market kind of changed from fluid to rocky, and you can see it. I really hope you guys see that because it's very subtle, but it's a big difference in my eyes from looking at it all the time. So, yeah, definitely, definitely. For sure. Because they have the money and they know how to do it. They have a tactic. Whatever tactic that this is, I think this is like one individual or one group of individuals that is doing this Bitcoin hammer. And it's Bitcoin futures individuals. So that could even be like a group of companies, big money companies, like lots of money companies that are like, yeah, we're going to completely just wreck the market real quick. It says it's going to 41.6. It'll go to 41.6. You feel me? So oh, the Wyckoff chart is almost exact. Okay. So we're in the accumulation period then, but that's crazy for Bitcoin at 42,000. Like I said, the only part that doesn't make sense is the Bitcoin price. Now, if Bitcoin was sitting at like 30,000 right now, this conversation wouldn't be happening. You know that, right? If Bitcoin was sitting at 30,000 or 32, this wouldn't be a conversation right now at all, because then it would explain why all of the altcoins are so low. There is no reason that Bitcoin at $42,000 that we have altcoins that are lower than when Bitcoin was $14,000 less, like significantly lower. It makes no sense, but we know why now. So it doesn't make sense, but yes, it does because it's the Bitcoin futures. I mean, uh, the part that doesn't make sense is why it works every time with such precision. And you can see it, that up and down, man. And sometimes they go down before up and down. So those either might be two different people or they have two different tactics. Because I've seen two of them. One of them, or actually three of them, because there's the dump before the pump before the dump, and then there's the double dump that we had where it went a pump, a dump, a pump, a dump, and that really, you think the one altcoin hammer works? Imagine a double altcoin hammer, and that's when Bitcoin did that. That's when the altcoins went to the very lowest that they ever were. Internet computer went to like $14. The graph went to 30 cents, and it was the double altcoin hammer that did it. The lowest the altcoins have been was because of the double altcoin hammer, which means the Bitcoin futures ETF are the direct reason of the lowest altcoins. There has to be a reason behind that. Yeah, they have. So we got to look at where these ETFs are coming from and see if they don't have any other crypto holdings. Because if they're manipulating the market to buy in these cryptos at a cheaper price, maybe we can get them under some scrutiny with the SEC. Like for real, don't you manipulate our market on our watch, right? I mean, if you're doing it legal, that's fine. But if you guys are like doing something sketchy, we're gonna cut you out on that because you can't just manipulate millions of people's money just because you're greedy, right? So that if it's all on the up and up, then that's fine. You know, this is just something we're gonna have to deal with coming into the future, dealing with these massive price swings. I mean, I'm used to volatility, but volatility can come fluidly, like big volatility. But when you come into these things that like are erratic and they don't make sense and they're just all over the place and they're pumping for no reason and then dumping right afterwards for no reason, it doesn't. So today there is a little bit of a reason for kind of a dump. I guess a lot of risk assets have been sold off. Like Charles had mentioned in Telegram that the stock market is down. The S&P index is down like 186 points, and so just things are a little bit rocky everywhere. But they use that as a catalyst. I believe these ETFs are intertwined with the stock market as well. Not what I'm saying; they're not intertwined with the stock market directly, but the people that are buying these ETFs are directly involved with the stock market and other stuff. So they're using what happens with the stock market. They're like, okay, we know the stock market, could possibly be seeing a dip here. Well, this is the best time to use the Bitcoin hammer. We're already seeing big losses in risk assets. Now's the time for the Bitcoin hammer, right? So they do it calculated at the perfect time. This Bitcoin hammer is the futures thing, and they're correlating certain times and dates for these big dumps to happen. And I think they can do it within like a week or two of a pump. So you notice we started pumping, and then they scrambled to make this happen to have another dump. So be careful, everybody. I think we're gonna do good. Let's see. Probably a big hedge fund. Man, I think just 4 years ago it was below. Not even 4 years ago. I mean that was just like 2 years ago. It was below 10K. It is artificial volatility. That's what makes me mad. I'm very hypersensitive to evil. I don't know what it is. I hate evil, man. I know that's because my beliefs and who I am, and I'm a Christian, and so I hold values very very strongly to myself, and so I feel evil a lot more. I've felt everything, like not just evil, but I'm hypersensitive. I always have been. I just feel things on a deeper level than most people. That's why, like, I fell in love with my wife. She fell in love with me because I'm a very deep, passionate person, and when someone can see that from me, they fall in love with it, right? Because I'm very dedicated and passionate, in things that I love. So that's a very good quality to have, but it can also, kind of lead me to challenge everything, and that's fine sometimes, but sometimes you're fighting the wrong battles. Like, should we really be worried about this scandal, or is it even a scandal because Bitcoin futures are real, they're like a legal thing, so it's not technically a scandal, but it is manipulation. So I guess scandal wasn't the best word. It just kind of sounded more like, this is real. I wanted to make a point that this is manipulated, that it is artificial, that it should not be happening, and they know how to do it now. So it can happen over and over and over again. So we just have to be prepared now. If it happens, let's try to make money off of it, man. Let's give them no reason to keep doing it, because the reason is to cost you money to gain them money. So if you stop costing yourself money and gaining them money, they're going to be like, okay, well, now the effort isn't worth it. Let's move on to something else. Hopefully. That's not always the way it works, but, this could just be, way too big, which it is. It's huge. If they can manipulate this, I mean, it's massive. I wouldn't even know where to, take them on, but we can react to it and prepare and act before they do it. So I'm going to try, like I said, I'm going to try to find more information on the actual ETFs and the information, and find out the direct times, like when they're all expiring, because that's public knowledge. All of this, they have to put it in public records for us to know, so that we can study and do the research and be like, okay, when this happens, and this happens, and that's why. And we can at least come up with a why. Not the best, but okay. Yeah. Any institutional trade organization. What? Oh, BlackRock Group. That's Kathy Wood's foundation, though. BlackRock? I don't think she would do that. But I mean, I just think Kathy Woods is a good person. I don't think she'd want to dump the market on people. This seems like more of like a corporate type thing, not. And if it is BlackRock, it is not Kathy Woods. They are behind it somehow. I don't think she knows. So, one solid algo. What does that mean? One solid algo? It's a smart play hat tip. Oh, here we go. With 100 articles of actual adoption every day, has a 150 to 200K Bitcoin price already baked in now. When those that have slept on Bitcoin realize the supply shock, BTC parabolic. Okay. Okay. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I don't doubt that Bitcoin can go to those prices. I just don't think it's going to be as soon as we think. I think it's going to be in the next 4 to 8 years that we see anywhere over the $100,000 range. I'd like to see it now. ARK. You're right. Kathy Wood is ARK. Why was I thinking of BlackRock? Doesn't she have something to do with BlackRock though? Hold up. I think she has something to do with BlackRock. I wonder why I thought that. Okay. My bad. My bad. Hey, you're right. It is just ARK Invest. I don't know why I thought BlackRock. Okay. Maybe it is BlackRock then. I was like, I don't think Kathy Wood would do that, but okay. Good point, man. You're right. You're right. It is ARK. My bad. Thanks for the clarification, man. Much appreciated. She's about that money. 18 to 24 months max? Ooh, man. Yeah, that's some. We can only speculate at this point, what is actually going on. But there's a lot going on besides just this future stuff. I mean, in crypto in general, all of these companies are on the precipice of new technology, new innovations, new global systems. And Elon Musk is not even, he's not content with just a one world, office. I think he's gonna really take crypto to another level because he already bought 10% of Twitter, which before that happened, they integrated the Bitcoin wallet to be able to be tipped on Twitter, right? And then all of a sudden, Elon Musk buys 10% of Twitter after that. It's not really that big of a coincidence that that he is going to be a major influence in the next part of crypto, but also being that global influence of SpaceX and Tesla. That combination is a very good combination to have someone on our side. Like I was saying earlier, he's one of the people we wanted on our side, and we got him. We got Mark Cuban. We got Kevin O'Leary. Who else did we want? We just wanted a bunch of billionaires, man. Who was the other one we wanted that never came on board? Oh, I can't remember. Oh well, we're getting them one by one, man. We'll get those billionaires on the Bitcoin bandwagon, and we will thrive. All right, guys. That being said, you know what time it is. Goodbye and good Bitcoin. Bam.